Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have a fairly balanced rack. And Viritot. Oh no, I don't have two T's, I have two R's, so that's not going to work. Opponents opened with chin. Now I have the over prefix. Over. No, that's not going to help. And the shin ending doesn't work either. So no bingo here. Oh, what about invertor? That should be good. Yeah, that's fine. Not a great pickup, and not seeing any 5-vowel 8s. Well, it would be a 6-vowel 8 actually. Looking at ways of getting value off the Q with my U. Wow, opponent scores 116. Didn't see that coming. Looking at the R. Raulia doesn't work. Urali does though. That gets rid of 4 vowels. I've created a hotspot here at 10J, which is unideal. Beano, still swamped in vowels, even after playing off 5 of them. That's a shame. Bears leaves too poor a rack, although it is 28 points. Looking at the T, okay, opponent scores well with the X, so I'm well behind now, 100 points. Can't utilize the X anymore. So maybe just a play of Beano gets rid of 3 vowels. A little bit clunky with the F and the W and the P, so I shan't be bingoing this turn. Yeah, opponent's taken that spot and scores well. I was looking there. And looking at a play of waif, that doesn't work because of IE. What about weft or waft? 33 looks okay. What about underneath? Probably the same score. 35. Yeah, I think I'll go with the highest score. Now that's a little bit better in terms of bingo prospects. I'm not seeing a 7 straight off the bat. Adipose, if one of the E's were an O. I have the side component of a word. Ape side, no. What about the V? Well, it would have to start at 9H anyway, so that's not happening. There's an L to play on to. And I have the dis prefix DIS. I have the C component of a word. Okay, opponent Short of vowels, apparently. Or perhaps just balancing the rack. Am I missing a bingo here? Looks very close. I do have peased. 50. Not a bad pickup, but not quite a bingo, I don't think. Opponent scores well in the bottom left. The V, a little bit restrictive in the rack. No real floaters to play onto apart from the L, which I already have on the rack, so not very helpful there. A bingo lane at 10A across. No. Yes. Seven squares there, so if there were a bingo here, it could potentially play Grovial, not a word. Ravioli, but not gravioli. This I also a potential floater, these two I's to utilize. Now can utilize the Q, maybe play a V Vali and QI. Not a great pickup. CG don't go well together. Opponent bingos. Ectasis. Looking at potential bingos through the E. Outgrace, no. What to do here? Cogue. It's the best possible rack leave. Yes, it's played. Oh, okay, opponent bingos again. So I've got outdared, but it's not a 9-timer. Not great, although I do have the H for playing under the C. Not the rest of the rack pretty dire. G for 32. Draw the J. What have I got? J-O, J-O. It's not very exciting, is it? join, n join through an n. Opponent's got the perfect final rack, and I need to block his attempts at bingoing. So how best to do that? Maybe a play of goji. That should scupper his plans. Yeah. And then I've got E now. What else can I do with the W? Well, I've got WA, no good. I have own 24. There should be something better on offer here, I'd say. The game is lost, but try to minimize the losing spread, I guess. 19, not very good. What else can I do with the W? Opponent's given up the bingo hunt. So the J still remains available, but I don't see a J play that utilizes the W. Opponent's definitely going out next turn. Or weight is good, but the rest doesn't work. Let's just own is 15, but that's U is probably 19 is probably gonna be best, I'd say. Yeah, I'll go with 19. So opponent will go out, no doubt. Oh, he hasn't gone out. Interesting. So what to do with N and O? N and O. I think here's on here would be best. And that's the end of the game. So thank my opponent for the game. So 458 to 399. Let's see what we missed. Back to the beginning. Opponent had chin and a perfect rack leave. That's almost certain to bingo the following turn. Inverter was the only bingo, so glad to have spotted that. Now opponent's got a massive 116 point play with sprees. That's huge. And then I've got this horror show of a rack. Urali for 12. I wanted to take out this R, E, and T, and Urali pretty much did the job there. Orloy for 19 at 9C. Okay, Orloy but making it easy for opponent to score and providing additional floaters. So, yeah, I prefer Urali in this instance. But what about Uoi? Again, that same concept. So, no, still happy with Urali. Fax for 36, but look at this, 4 for 54, 12L. Getting the X doubled. So 4 for 54. And opponent goes with the fax. Beano for 16 was best here, so happy with that. Gumboil's opponent had through the O. That's not one you see every day. And look how nicely it underlapped Beano. Gumboil's making ifs as well. Huge 85-point power play. Opponent went with Bug for 29 and Waif for 38. Why did I miss? That was the play. Missed it. Got rid of the problem tiles, the W and the F. Massive score, perfect rack leave. Gutted to have missed that optimal play. Went with Waft for 35, and then opponents got a few good plays here. Eas, that's one I often miss actually, because you can't take the S off. EYA, no good. 10I. Again, across the top. And opponent goes with Moyle. Now, Peased for 50 was best. Peased to have spotted that. And now, nice rack, but opponent's got, pretty much the perfect play of OY and a pretty good rack leave, especially with all these E's to come. Picks up one of the E's and he's pretty much home dry for a bingo. Now, not quite bingo here, but a nice balanced rack. Gov for 22 or Virago 24. I thought I'd just go with Varley to maximize score. Ectasias and Ectasis. Okay, and Asites. So a few bingo options there. Courage. Yeah, that would have been nice for 39. Getting the C doubled. Yeah, that was... I just went with Cogue because RAT was such a good rack leave. And it did pay off because I then had a bingo afterwards. Now, Nardine, but no place for it. Ensnared, the only bingo. Opponent spots that. And now I'm 160 behind. 163. Wow, that's quite a margin to make up. Outdared was the highest scoring bingo. And opponent doesn't really have to worry too much about a vowelless rack, as he had a vowel to play through and scored fairly well with Thank. 24. So he maintains the 100 plus point lead, and I've got this horror show here. Hoy for 34, Guy for 32. That's about as good as it gets, with a shocking rack leave as we go into the end game. And opponent's got the blank, so the game is lost. It's just trying to maximize score from my end. Opponent had M for 20, and then Joe for 38. Why didn't I did mention that, and then I decided against it. Reason being is I saw the remaining tiles, and this lane here, row 4 and row 6 were golden bingo lane opportunities, so I thought take it out, both lanes out with Goji. That did in effect deny my opponent, and yes, he would have had a gazillion bingos there in row 4 or 6 had I not played had I played JO. So sometimes the analyzer doesn't always get the best potential play because it's a static evaluation. So optimal play was Goji, and then id opponent, a big difference, 12 points compared to 72, for example. So then I did spot E now, but why didn't I play it? I should have next to, yeah. And E new as well. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't look for spots on the board for that, having mentioned it. Anyway, just a couple of points off the top score. Trolley. That's another pretty obscure one you don't see every day. 24 was the top play through the O. Making chair and oil. That would have been nice. And opponent decides not to go out. Thanker, and that gives me on for 13. So that was the end of the game. So yeah, some interesting words there. Sprees was quite nice. Ectasis. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.